past the 12 o'clock, it is a good afternoon. I hope you have enjoyed your lunch. And for those of you just joining us, welcome to our second impulse of the day. The title of this impulse that is about to take place is Human-Centered Government and the Power of Design. Now, please warmly welcome with me on the stage our guest speakers from Palmwood. And they are the Chief Creative Officer, Mitch Sinclair, Senior Director, Volker Roos, and COO, Reem Al Zarouni. Your collective applause is appreciated.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Thank you for being here. It's good to have at least half of the crowd here after lunch. I know it's a hard time. So let's start off with this question. When was the last time a 12-year-old kid helped you imagine and create a policy? I'm serious, a 12-year-old kid can do a lot. We've tested that, and it can turn out with miracles. Today's conversation is about design's role in connecting the people who serve to the people they serve. So we're going on the ground and helping the leadership connect with the people that they're here to serve. Moving ideas, this would help us. This connection between the people who serve to the people they serve would help us move the ideas faster and make a better connection because we're dealing with the people, creating it with more meaningful impact because we're creating it with them. Hello and hella, I'm Reem.
I'm Volker.
And I'm Mitch Sinclair, the Chief Creative Officer of Palmwood. And just to give you guys a little bit of backstory on what Palmwood is a social impact foundation that was created to blend design and government together. What happens when we put the power of creativity in everyone's hands? And that means people in government, it means the people on the street. How are we empowering them to co-create the future of this nation together? And this was a completely different thing to me, by the way. If you had asked me 5 years ago that if I would ever be in Dubai collaborating with the government, I would have thought you were crazy. I was a designer, I was at IDEO, I was a design director helping lead big brands in transformational change. But what was exciting to us was this new kind of a marriage, UAE government and IDEO, the world's largest design and innovation consultancy, coming together to tackle social impact challenges at scale. And what this means is, it's really a fearless merging of worlds. And if you are wondering, by the way, where our name comes from, Palmwood, we get this a lot, it's actually the combination of the strengths of both of our homelands. So palm is the desert palm, this symbol of life and hope in the harshest of places, and the California redwood, where IDEO is from. 30 years ago, we worked with companies like Apple and Steve Jobs to invent products and services, and now we want to bring that collaborative spirit here to the UAE. Our founding partner, His Excellency Mohammed Al-Gargawi, was very clear in what he hoped this union would create. And when we first joined forces, he said to us, how can Palmwood help foster radical creativity, curiosity, and co-creation across the nation? And if that's not a good design brief, then I've never seen one. Like that, immediately I moved across the world. I switched lives entirely to join this quest and help the nation go on this journey. Now you might be wondering, why are these three strangers on stage talking about design at a conference about government? Totally fair. Or you might even be wondering, what is design anyway? Like, is that like interior design or graphic design or product design or like the pretty pictures that my kids draw? To us, design is much more than that. Design is a human-centered methodology and mindset for creative problem solving. And this means it can be applied to anything. It can be applied to a product, a service, inventing a new water bottle, but it also can be applied to systems and policies and even designing the future of an entire nation. You probably have all seen design thinking as a process. You've seen diagrams somewhere. Someone has told you about the different phases that we go through, from imagining wild ideas together, to prototyping them, to refining, to finally designing and launching. And for over 30 years now, IDEO has been doing this with global companies, big brands, everyone you know and love. But what's really exciting for us is that human-centered design now has an opportunity to merge with government and create an entirely new model for this world. And we're seeing, even in the work you saw earlier, that the UK is doing things like this. They're trying to bridge design and government together. So our question was, could we create human-centered government? Could we create a new model of how the people are connected to government to co-create solutions together? And we're doing that through efforts like DesignGov. Some of you here in the audience are actually part of our DesignGov program, where we are taking people through a leadership and creative unlocking experience to become the world's first chief design officers of a nation. This is a big deal. No other nation has a chief design officer who's responsible for empathy, curiosity, co-creation, and creativity with the people. And you might be wondering, okay, that's lovely, Mitch, but why is this all important? Why is creativity really going to change things? Why is co-creation going to change how we work? I would argue that there is a global crisis of connection in government. And we are seeing this in our own neighborhoods, and we're seeing it globally. We're seeing governments disconnected from their people, disconnected from their needs, and systems are starting to fail. And the promise of human-centered government is that it changes that equation. It puts humans squarely at the heart of collaborating with government. Fishermen actually designing for their own fishermen's services and needs, not us sitting in a boardroom and imagining it for them. Going around and talking to elderly people, people of all backgrounds, people of all ages about what they need. And what's exciting to me is that this is fundamentally shifting the power dynamic from a government of top-down power dictating from above, here's our policy, here's our idea, please do it, to a model of empowerment. This is about lifting from the ground up. This is the power of human-centered government, and this is what we are here to do. And it is incredible, just a quick animated GIF of some of our work, seeing the difference in how government policies and programs and experiences can look and feel when you create them with the people who are ultimately going to use them. They're more beautiful, they're more joyful, they're weird, they're wonderful, they're energetic, and as someone mentioned earlier in the behavioral economist talk, that's what inspires people to change. So, I'm going to pass this over to Volker for a quick exercise.
Thank you, Mitch. So we say creativity is a muscle, and we want your own creative muscle to be trained a little bit. On your seat, you should have a sheet, a printout with circles on it, yeah? And we will do a very quick 1-minute exercise. And the task is, you know the exercise, the task is to fill as many of those circles with something that you created in 1 minute. Build on your own ideas, get out a pen, and I'm that serious about this exercise. I give you exactly 60 seconds, and go. Okay, first pen is out of the pocket, that's good. You should be done by 15 at least.
Two seconds left.
Fantastic, time's up. Thank you so much. So who of you could manage to fill in 30 circles? Anyone? 20? No, 20? 10? Beautiful, thank you so much. So what you just practiced in a mini short sprint was creative agility. You know, you tried something out. Maybe you started with a pizza and that ended into a wheel, into a basketball. Doesn't matter. So, yeah, I just leave it at this. The point is about moving forward in a very quick way. The overall frame for today and this event is agile government becoming future-proof. So we looked at the definition of agile, and to be super clear, this is not about agile software development. This is not what this is. But there are some similarities in how we approach our creative process working in government. So the first thing is about the collaborative efforts that we're building on. The second part is about with end consumers, customers, stakeholders, people, in a way. And lastly, in early delivery and continual improvement of the design process. I'm going to dive into those three sections bit by bit now. So the first one is really about the idea of having diverse teams with different opinions and experiences, and they change how we work and what we can create together. And here's a snapshot from our own studio. You see Mitch and Reem, and I took the picture, all kinds of different people sitting together on one table, working on the task with different kinds of backgrounds. We have people who are coming from an innovation background, from a communication, from an organizational business experience point. Here's another shot. I don't know if Mosa is still around, but this is another work that we've been doing. And it can look like this, where we literally get down on our knees, we get scissors, and we chop up information and see how else we could bring a certain information across to an audience. There's a lot of integrating different kinds of perspectives into our work, coming from all those perspectives of gender, of age, of backgrounds, of regionality that are really helpful to move ideas forward. We also encourage to build bridges across different entities, overcoming silos, not just looking at your own little problem, but getting someone else in that you can draw knowledge from. Sometimes we take it even as far as changing sort of a scenery and changing the way we work together when we bring different people together. Recently, we took a group of government representatives out, and we created this experience that helped them to collaborate on a certain topic together. So a change of mind or a change of space, is a change of mind. It's quite helpful how we work together. Going to close this chapter with Nazla and Sultan here in the background. That poster is quite nice. Learn from another, be open, commit to this journey, and make it pleasurable for yourselves. Our work is hard enough. Let's just make sure everyone gets the best out of themselves. So big takeaway number one, the power of diverse people and teams. No one has all the answers, but together we come up with better answers, and we have more volume, more mass, more circles filled out that we can use to move our own agenda forward. The second part is about including people. It's co-creating with people. So co-creating with people challenges our assumptions, deepens insights, and makes sure we're solving for the right needs. This is quite important. Mitch, you mentioned the fishermen earlier on, and designers from government, they went out and talked to those fishermen because fishermen know what they need as fishermen. So really involving them and seeing them from a human perspective and seeing them as a valuable stakeholder is quite important. We worked with the youth a lot. If you go out and work with kids and the youth, you'd be surprised how knowledgeable and how visionary they actually are and how articulate they can be. We worked with the Minister of Food Security and Ministry of Education on topics such as how might we increase kids' food curiosity and creativity. It's a problem of our times that many times we're disconnected from how we eat, what we eat, why we eat. The same is true for kids. So our designers went out in the field and saw and observed and interacted with children of all ages to see what they come up with. And you'd be surprised how strong their opinion can be. I show a quick video of part of this project where the team had designed different articulations of this brand and of this offering and had a hunch of what the right thing was. And then they showed it to the kids, and something completely different came out, and they wanted to go in a different direction than our internal team actually wanted to go.
It was so great at the time. They were like, this is designed for kids. Ew, it's so young. And I'm like, you're a kid. But they wanted something more grown up. And so we ended up shifting the entire dynamic, the policy we created, everything to respect this like edgier thing they wanted.
So we say it's for kids, not by kids. In this case, and some of the outcomes, it's very beautiful, very visual, a new service. Or designing with elderly population. Again, here you might think, oh, finances and healthcare could be a big issue, but no. Once you work with them, and we did in this question about how could we be more creative. The gentleman on the left here talked about what about Olympics for people above 60? How could we compete in sports on this topic? Completely surprising. We could have not come up with that. Beautiful outcomes leading even into launching new policies down the way. Takeaway number 2, the power of co-creation. You know, it really helps us to design with and not for people. We will come up with more, with better and unusual solutions that really hit what those people are needing and what motivates them in their lives. Last but not least, number 3, prototyping is one of our important methods that we use and apply. Rough, raw designs, iterating on ideas along the way leads to more impact and validated input for final execution. Here's another short clip of that case with the fishermen, where we literally took our paper cutouts and simple things into the field, installed it in a mall, and learned on the spot with real people under real conditions. Very simple, didn't cost us much. But we could look into digital services, we could look into spatial setups, new business models. Working again with people, testing ideas and validating ideas, working in a raw state. Working with your hands, where we hand people, right? It helps you to think and help to articulate your thoughts. You can even go as far as prototyping your entire organization, how things flow, how information flows. You can prototype and you can test your pitch. It's a really good challenge, actually. Present to peers and on all levels to see if your concept is sticky and if it works for others as well. Takeaway number 3, the power of prototyping is quite important. Also from a financial perspective. Only doing the things that are really important will help you save money, and it's a way of de-risking your development process. Very quick wrap up. So the first thing that we do heavily in our work with government from Palmwood is we create interdisciplinary teams from all kinds of diverse backgrounds. We work with people, we design with them, we include them as much as possible in the design process. And then we design a lot and we create a lot of prototypes so that ourselves we can learn and we get better at this. I have to be super rude. I have to go to the airport. Thank you so much.
Let's bring it home, though. Thank you, Volker.
So this is not just about new processes. This is about changing people. And as you saw in the presentation, we had a lot of faces, a lot of people who we took along with us in this journey. And we wouldn't have achieved what we wanted, or we cannot do this change unless people change as well. So part of what we wanted to do in DesignGov is to try to change this mindset. And we had a beautiful group of people from different backgrounds, from different levels, join us in this journey and come up with great output because they kind of embedded these mindsets and took on these skill sets and applied them in where they had challenges, basically. So we said it's about people, and this is supposed to elevate the purpose of our work, the responsibility to change, and the feeling, that the calling that makes you wake up every morning and go to work. Because what you feel, you have more empathy now, and you've talked to people, and you know that the change that you're about to do would have a great impact in your social life, in your country, and your nation. So here are few people that we kind of crossed paths with, so they were with us in the design government. So Suad, for example, what she took away with her is the power of listening. And she says, if you really listen to people on the ground, you would hear them tell you about the challenge because they would know it better, and they might also give you the answer for it. So when you listen to people and have a diverse group of people, the solutions that you would come up with would be, of course, more impactful. Another story that I would like to share is Amel. Amel usually works in her desk and in her office, and she says that the power of co-creation changed the way she looked at her work and the way she does her work. And she enjoyed talking to people and feeling their pain, and also whenever she presented an idea they're allowed to kind of shut it down and she can start over. And the power of prototype, like Volker talked about earlier, helps us do that in a very early stage. So you don't reach to the end product and just know that it doesn't work, it doesn't fit. I mean, so what you did wouldn't have the impact that you want it to be. So the power of co-creation. Abdurrahman is a person who didn't really believe in the power of design. He thought, like a lot of us, like design is something that you do to beautify the work that you do. It's graphic design. It's not necessary, it's always the cherry on the top. But through the program, he knows that design is core. This is his quote, like he says, now I can design KPIs, I can design policy, I can design strategy, I can design my life. So what does all this mean? The talk that we had. So I want to leave you probably with these 3 questions to consider. What's the most impactful thing you can do tomorrow to begin to tackle challenges with a diverse team? To hear from people from different backgrounds, from different age groups, to help you overcome a challenge. Another question is, what's a difficult challenge in your entity that you feel stuck in and you would like to explore with the power of co-creating with people from the ground? And the third question would be, how strong is your culture of prototyping and continuous learning? What's one thing you could test in a raw state tomorrow? That's it. Shukran. Thank you.
Guys. We'll be around later. We'd love to talk.
Thank you very much for our speakers. A round of applause for them, if you may please, one more time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? If you are interested in diving deep into the forum pillars and finding out more about cutting-edge research of these topics, we invite you to join the UAE PPF paper presentations. We explore the following topics. Pay attention. Something may ring that you're looking for. A, diplomacy in the age of agile government. This will be held, of course, in Al-Waha 1 Hall. Also, in Al-Waha 2, we have technology and an agile government. Also, if you're interested in the role of an agile government and public, please proceed to Reem Al 1 Hall. Some of you who are invited to a Health Policy Council, this is going to be in Al-Amwaj 1 and Al-Amwaj 2. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, with that being said, we'd like, of course, to thank our speakers for providing us with some extraordinary new insights on agile government and becoming future-proof. And thanks to our audience for their interest and participation throughout the day. We hope you found the day very informative, useful, and enjoyable. We're going to have to see you tomorrow, of course, at this hall for more interesting discussions and talks, which means that we have come to the end of the first day sessions right here at this hall. Thank you all very much. You may proceed to attend the other pillars happening right now. Have a beautiful day.